The vast majority of the work that I do is working with experts in their field to show their expertise on video. And that takes a lot of different forms, but this is the best form of all. We sit people down in a chair in a studio in their location and we just interview them. A series of predetermined questions that they can respond naturally to because it just allows them to be who they are. And they don't have to be alone in a room with a camera, which sets off all kinds of hassles in the head and is just not so much fun. I recently sat down with a speaking expert, somebody whose entire business is working with people to do speaking in public, on stages, stuff like that. And sitting in a room speaking to the camera, challenging. We sat down just like this. We had 30 predetermined questions. Some she said would be perfect, some not so good, who cares? And we sat down for 90 minutes and just had a conversation. Tell me about this. Tell me about this. She answered every question so it could be a standalone video. Often, I get a question about, and away she went. Often, I get a question about, how do you make expert videos where people seem relaxed when they're not always comfortable in front of video? Well, the answer is, we sit them down in a chair and just have a natural interview. And then we take the best parts and create the videos out of that. So it allows people to just be who they are, instead of standing up on stage and trying to be something different, because you know what we're tired of? This nonsense. But what we want and crave is just somebody who knows what they're doing. And the way you show somebody you know what you're doing is tell them how you did it for somebody else, just like them, who had great results, just like they want. And as an expert, you have all those stories right inside of you. It's my job to pull them out. And quite frankly, it's pretty much the only thing I'm good at is getting people to tell stories. So luckily, I have video cameras to make that process work. Starting off with 30 questions is probably not the way to start. We come in often when we're first working with experts and ask, what are the 5, 6, 7 most frequently asked questions that you get? Let's answer those. Simple process. Quite often, my customers ask me, what are the 5 most important marketing videos that I need for my business? Well, I, as an expert, know that instantly. Blah, 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 blah. And so we start with just, everyone knows the questions. They're the questions you're almost tired of answering all the time. You get them so often. 3, 4, 5, 10. It's a big chunk to start off with. But we found that people who start by answering questions as part of a video marketing strategy, not just a reason to make videos, are getting a set of valuable videos. People are searching the internet with a question. How do I? The most common opening in a YouTube search, how do I? That's the title. How do I make great expert videos? Well, let me tell you, I got an opinion about that. Funny you should ask. Boo-to-do-to-do. And so it's a process that doesn't require any scripting, doesn't require any making stuff up, doesn't require any fancy stuff. It's just questions and answers.
And can you do this for any business? I understand she's an expert, but for maybe someone who runs a retail store or something else, is there?
Sure.
Can you do something different?
I think one of the greatest things about expert videos and frequently asked questions is that nearly everybody is an expert in their business, and everybody gets frequently asked questions. A restaurant, the guy who owns a pizza place, he's got certain questions that he hears all the time. Everything from, is it gluten-free, to can you deliver it? And so what's it made out of? What are you most proud of? They're just, it's a different relationship with somebody in front of a video camera when they're talking about not how do I frame what I do in marketing and write a good headline, but how do I just say what matters? How do I tell people the answer to what they're looking for? Sometimes frequently asked questions are also about how to use the thing you sold them. What would it do for your customer service if you had, hey, by the way, if you forgot, you can use our thing like this or like that or like this. We have one client who runs a dress shop for ladies. Her frequently asked questions are what's new. Her videos are, here's what's new. Simple. We used to be a great customer for us until we showed her how to get all the video gear, and now she does it herself. But that's the goal. The goal is for people, we work with them, we coach them through the process, we get them comfortable. And there comes a day where people go, yeah, I got this. I feel okay with this. Because nobody wants to read the internet anymore. People are watching the internet. Nobody believes a written testimonial on your website, especially if it's sort of unsourced, Joe V, Anytown, USA. Nonsense. I think the one thing that everybody should know about expert videos is that they're the easiest thing to do in the world. Because the only hump you have is just kind of getting natural in front of the camera, kind of getting relaxed in front of the camera. That's practice and coaching. I do the coaching. I help with the practice. But anybody can do it, because if you're running a business, you're excited about that business, you're good at it. It comes naturally to you. There are stories inside of every business owner that I've ever met that are useful to their prospects that they haven't thought of telling. And that's what I do. I get those, I help bring those stories out. Mostly through my fantastic interviewing techniques that consist of, really? Tell me more. Again, just a conversation. And then we edit the gold nuggets and put them together, and you got a great video that lasts and lasts and lasts. Because the questions that people get this year about the thing they do are the same ones they got last year, pretty much going to be the same ones they get next year. Now we have a marketing asset that will be useful for a very long time. A natural question then becomes, well, if I know it all and I already have the stories, why can't I just sit down and do it myself? I have a phone, I can do the selfie, and yeah, you can. And it can be very painful in the beginning. And it's important to have somebody to help you be natural in front of the camera. It's important to have another human being in the room to say, hey, what if you said it this way? Hey, what if you said it that way? Alone in a room with a camera is frustrating, especially if you're fairly new at it. If you've been in the video marketing business for 10 years and you're facile and fluent and comfortable in front of the camera, it still sucks. You still go, But if you put a guy in the chair, like I'm doing now, who's asking me questions, it just becomes something that's painless, something that becomes valuable, because now I'm highlighting in my head what's really important to my customers, so I'm more focused on that. And I know that I'm sharing this, and when people go looking for, how do they find my video. They get a chance to meet me, right? They get a chance to kind of get to know me a little bit before they call, which makes for a much warmer relationship. If somebody's watched a couple of videos of you answering questions that they have, when they call to ask, how did they buy your stuff? They're not asking as a new prospect. What they're really saying is, I'm totally convinced because I like you. That's why I'm calling you. Just justify my decision. And that is a warm, warm, warm prospect.